What's up, friend? Thank you for being here and taking part in the How to Unlock Powerful Self Talk workshop. Today, we're going to get into some journaling, some practice around our language, set some goals, and then unlock that self talk that we may not know needs to be unlocked. So, we're going to get into that today. First thing, we're going to journal. I want you to think about in the next 6 months of your life. What goals do you want to accomplish? So in 6 months, I want you to write one goal around fitness, one goal for work, one goal for relationships or outside life. And I want you to think deeply about this. Get specific. All right, this journal is going to set up the rest of this program. And I want you to get one for each. I'm going to give you 2 minutes here. Please pause the recording. Give yourself 2 minutes. Set a timer. And from there, one goal for fitness, one goal for work, and one goal for relationships or outside life. Take your time now. Welcome back. So, you just set a goal around fitness, a goal for work, and a goal for your relationships or outside life. How we want to then structure these goals is going to be really important. What we're going to go over and over and over again today is the power of our language is how our goals become real. So, first step, when writing your goals, you already have your ideas there. We're going to rewrite them, but in a specific process. Okay, we want to get really intentional about how our goals are written so that when we see them, they have a different meaning, they have a different weight, a different momentum behind them. First thing, anytime we write a goal, we want to have it time bound. You've maybe done that before doing SMART goals, or maybe you're in school and they're like, hey, when do you want to have this thing done? Well, that's good. However, this is going to be better. When we write that date, we're going to start with by this date. Specifically, writing by this date is going to allow us permission or give us permission to complete and achieve our goals sooner. Now, that sounds amazing, doesn't it? Not just having this big goal or big idea looming over our head with a date out in the future. We're going to write this goal in a way that's giving us permission to complete. Maybe it's in 3 months rather than 6 months. All right, we're bold in this stance, but we're giving that permission to start taking action. So when we write our goals, for example, mine is by December 10th, 2023. That's solid. It's something I can look out 6 months from now and then come backwards and go, all right, where do I need to start? Where do I need to start implementing action to make this happen? Which then brings me to the I statement. So you already have your ideas. You have your fitness idea, you have your work idea, and your relationship or life idea. Okay, we have goals, but until we write it down, it's just a dream. Okay, our reality becomes solid or real and tangible when we write it out. So when I have you write this goal, we're going to also think about writing in the past tense, thinking as if it's already completed. When we write this I statement, we're writing it in the past. Okay. So again, my example, starting with the permission statement, is by December 10th, 2023, I have 10 individual coaching clients in mindset training. Admittedly, when I was making this presentation and writing this out for myself, and this is a process I go through quarterly, monthly, weekly in some instances. What is my goal? I wanted to pick a goal that was bold, but I started noticing fear in some of the things I was writing, and I caught myself. I wanted to catch myself before I let that voice run rampant. And I wanted to be specific. So in this practice, right, I've already given myself permission to finish or complete sooner. And then I'm going to be really strong with my language and go, I have 10 individual coaching clients in mindset training. The specific action in there is I'm coaching clients. Specific number, I have 10 individual clients. What are we doing? I'm mindset training. I'm coaching them on their mindset, helping them develop just a powerful, unlocked way to live. And it starts with the mind. So in this goal, I gave myself permission. Number one, I'm specific on the date. Two, I'm creating an I statement. I'm seeing myself in that new position. A bigger idea, a bigger concept around mindset and self-talk that we're going to get into is we only have the present moment. However, I have what I know now, all of my experience until this exact moment, right? You're listening to this video, you've already done journal number 1, and now we're learning how to write goals specifically. You are in this moment. When I set this goal, I'm picturing myself in the future. What is it going to look like for me to be there, living this out, making it happen? So we write it as an I statement so you can start to identify with being that new version of yourself, being that stronger, fuller, more excited, confident version of yourself. All right, so that's our goal setting. I want you to go through each one of those goals that you wrote out and create this specific structure for yourself. And then that leads us into journal number 2. Journal number 2. I want you to look at the goals you just wrote out and how specific you are and start to notice, what does the voice in your head say as you write out this goal? Is the voice in your head telling you to be small? Is the voice in the head doubting, creating fear that you're not going to reach this goal? So why even bother? Is it mean? Is it saying that you're not good enough? Is it negative, telling you that last time you set a goal, you didn't get it? Whatever's there, I want you to notice all of it. Notice what the voice in your head says as you write out this goal. The doubt, the fear, the mean, the negative words and phrases. Put it all down. Write this out. I'm going to give you another 2 minutes here to practice noticing and then write down the doubt, the fear, the mean, the negative words and phrases that voice says to you when you write out goals. And a second way we can look at this too is when you are working hard, when you are in a tough challenge position, maybe it's in the gym, maybe it's at work, maybe it's in your relationship. What is the voice in your head creeping in and saying? It might not always be super loud. However, it can grow to be really big and all consuming. So notice what is being said. 2 minutes on your clock. Write it all down. Doubts, fears, mean, and negative words and phrases. There you go. Welcome back. So you just spent 2 minutes writing out all of the doubt, fear, mean, and negative words and phrases that show up. That is going to be our next topic. All right, those are all just words. However, I'm going to share a topic and a concept here that I'm imagining you've already heard of. Abracadabra. What does that mean? Is it just the silly thing that Disney movies have magicians or wizards or warlocks or whoever say before they cast a spell? Well, there's a reason they do that. Abracadabra means from my word I create. So picture this. The magician goes, at the count of 3, a rabbit will appear from my hat. He takes his magic wand, your pen, pencil, starts drawing. 1, 2, 3, abracadabra. poof, a rabbit pops out of the hat. We're all stunned, and I'm just left bewildered. How did this happen? Well, the word abracadabra has been moved for many, many generations, coming from the Aramaic word meaning from my word, I create. So just like the magician cast a spell and had something created out of thin air, we do the same exact thing with all of the words, all of the self talk that we have in our life. It's either building something up or it's tearing something down. And we're going to get to that in a second. Abracadabra, from my word, I create. Taking this idea forward, let's recall the goals we just wrote down, right? We just created our goal. The words that we put down determine our reality. What are we going to get out of this life? When we write things down, they're no longer just bouncing off the side of the inside of our head. They become tangible. They become real. You are emboldening yourself to go after what you write down. So our words determine our reality. And now we have this opportunity to unlearn and rewrite the stories that are going to allow us to use our self-talk, be more powerful, be confident, and move forward in our life. So make this simple. What is self-talk? Self-talk is the internal voice that either keeps us stuck or moves us forward in the direction we want to go. Self-talk is a practice. If you work with me before this, or you want to work with me after this, we're going to really focus on practice. What does that mean? We are taking deliberate action over and over and over again, and we're practicing. So self-talk is one of those ways we can practice in our life. Self-talk is either learned or inherited. You either learned it from a past experience. Say you struck out in your baseball game, or you didn't do well on a test that you studied a lot for, and you hold on to those stories. The stories in our head become real the more we let them stick around. So it's either learned or inherited. Inherited meaning, did I pick this up from someone else? Did someone else have a bad day, say something out loud, and then I related to it and held on to it? Right? Can we now create some distance between what we've learned from past experience or what we inherited from someone else's experience that we observed and then took for our own? So with these first three, we then go into self-talk either being destructive or constructive. We're going to get into that next. Starting with destructive self-talk. Where does this come about? Why is it here? Well, destructive self-talk is a lack of mindfulness of our goals and values. What does that mean? If I'm lacking mindfulness, I'm not paying attention, or I'm not giving focus to the things that matter. Maybe I had a goal in my head, but I never wrote it down. And then it just disappeared. Maybe I have values, yet I've never written them down. And then they disappear when they are most needed, right? So when we're lacking mindfulness of our goals and our values, that allows for the doubt, the fear, the negative and destructive voice to keep us stuck, keep us in place, instead of picturing ourselves moving forward. That new version of ourselves is waiting for us, yet it is up to us to notice the destructive self-talk. And then the person you talk to most is you. So are the words you're using to talk to yourself, are they building you up or are they tearing you down? It is always your choice. Mindfulness is a choice. Mindfulness is also a practice. It is your choice to practice one way, or maybe it's your choice not to practice and let things go the other way. Then we also have what some people might call positive self-talk. First off, I don't believe there's a negative self talk or a positive self talk. I believe there is self talk, and it's either destructive or constructive. Okay. Some people thrive off of that whip hitting our back to go forward, work harder, be tougher, whatever that is. It can also be really constructive for someone to be peaceful, to remind themselves to be calm, okay? To remind themselves that they have everything they need to be successful. So, constructive self talk is a feeder on our goals being clear and our values being clear in our mind and written out in front of us. So, when we're clear on our goals and our values, the decision making becomes easier. The decision to practice becomes easier. The decision when we're under stress, maybe we're on the echo bike and we're trying to sprint to finish those last 10 calories. What are you saying then is a direct reflection from, are you clear on your goals and your values, so that when you're in that challenging moment, you get to choose. You've already made the choice. So with each word or phrase, we get to continue building the life that we want to live, what we want our life to be. How we're going to get there. Implementation. How do we unlock the powerful self-talk? Well, let's, again, take a second. We've already set goals around fitness, around work, around our relationships. And then we have these doubts, the fears, the mean words, the negativity show up, and they're trying to tear us down, right? That's our past version of ourselves. Let's stay comfortable. Let's stay in the same place. However, the first key in implementing this powerful self-talk that I know you want, and I am constantly practicing for myself. First step is to notice. You've already written them down. Look at the list of the doubts, fears, mean, and negative words and phrases that you noticed earlier. Maybe there's more coming up. Can you add to that list? Take a second to do that. Now, the key to noticing is to notice. This does not mean look at it and start going down that story again. Oh, I'll never make it. I'll never get there. I'm not going to be in the right place. I don't have what it takes, right? All of those spirals start to get really heavy on our shoulders, really heavy on our back. But noticing is just witnessing. Can you remove your self-judgment from those words? How do you do that? Step 2. Let's take a big breath all together. Wherever you are, fully in, fully out. Just like that, we created a space to ask ourselves questions of, are these words my own? Are these words building up the life I want to live? Are these words coming out into the world and building up others, people we care about? Ask yourself these questions. We have the space by taking a single breath. If you're in a really stressful situation, take 2. You always have the ability to take a breath. And creating that space from your breath is the foundation to making change from that heavy, dark, destructive self-talk. We breathe, ask ourselves those questions. And then step 3, we are going to translate the destructive self-talk into our constructive, our building up, our building blocks for life. Abracadabra, from my word I create, I want you to split your page down in half, or maybe you're just going to go line to line. Look at all of the fears, the doubts, the negative words and phrases, the mean words and phrases. Look at them. And just the way we set our goals earlier, you're going to replace and translate with an I statement, a constructive I statement. Write one for each line. Take 2 minutes. All right. So you just took 2 minutes. You went translating from destructive to constructive, and you went back and forth, back and forth. Now you have this amazing list of constructive self-talk. How are you going to build yourself up? This is the blueprint. One example, I've used it earlier, but I don't know if you maybe were ready to notice it. I used this earlier. I am powerful. Just like that, I can start to feel the sensation in my body change. I can start to notice that I'm in a stronger, more confident place. Just that one self-talk phrase, I am powerful. With every mantra, every time I say it over and over and over again, and use my breath to create the identity around the constructive self-talk, I get better at it. And that brings us into the final partner exercise. So you're listening to this on your own. You now have your list. I want you to pick 3 of those new I statements, underline them, circle them, whatever works for you. Pick them out. And then I want you to go out, find someone that you know cares about you. And I want you to bring this idea to them. You're going to go, hey, can you help me? I'm going to read you my new mantras. And I want to breathe together after each line, low and slow. Can we do that? And when your partner says, yes, we can do that, you're going to go through the list. You're going to read it at 70% speed. Picture the late night radio host, nice and smooth, and then allow yourself space to breathe after each line. When you complete your list 3 times through, you then get to ask questions to your partner, and you're also going to have them ask questions back. I want you to notice, after going through the first time, the second time, and the third time of your list, what about your tone was different? What about your posture changed? Did you deliver it with a solidness that wasn't there the first time, that completely changed the energy of the room the third time? Going through this practice, you can teach your partner everything else you went through. And that all together is where you're going to thank your partner for the honest feedback. When we get to a place with powerful self-talk, constructive self-talk, being our normal daily action, the world will change. Thank you for taking part in this. One last reminder. Our words have the power to change our body, heal our mind, and create our reality. Wherever you are, I would love to hear your feedback on how this free training went. Leave a comment, share with anyone else you think would take a lot of value away from this. I'm so grateful to be teaching this. This is my calling. This is what I'm supposed to do. And I know constructive self-talk like I am powerful, I create value, and I'm right where I'm supposed to be helps me present this to you. So, would love to hear your feedback. Thank you again. If you have any questions, reach out to me, Gunnar Regan. That's my Instagram, and we can connect. For now, peace. Have a great day.